hate the color of your skin? Who taught you to hate the texture of your hair? Who taught you to hate the shape of your nose and the shape of your lips? Who taught you to hate yourself from the top of your head to the soles of your feet? Who taught you to hate your own kind? Who taught you to hate the race that you belong to? So much so that you don't want to be around each other. No, before you come asking Mr. Muhammad, does he teach hate? You should ask yourself, who taught you to hate being what God gave you?
Most of us blacks, or Negroes as he called us, really thought we were free without being aware that in our subconscious, all those chains we thought had been struck off were still there. And there were many ways where what really motivated us was our desire to be loved by the white man. Malcolm meant to lance that sense of inferiority. He knew it would be painful. He knew that people could kill you because of it, but he dared to take that risk.
He was saying something over and above that of any other leader of that day. While the other leaders were begging for entry into the house of their oppressor, he was telling you to build your own house.
Hoodoo! Hoodoo! Got some static here. Hopefully that's not going to affect too much. Welcome back to the Thursday night edition of the No PC Show. I think we got things going on the Facebook side and on the YouTube side. Hopefully everything is going to be okay. If not, we'll find out. It looks clear at least. Hooty hoo. I may have to start adding back in the Tuesday night edition because so much happens during earlier in the week, and then I don't get to talk about it until Thursday. So we had the Breonna Taylor hearing, and none of the officers were indicted for the shooting, but I think they were indicted for, one was indicted for firing a firearm, endangering other people. And everybody wants to be shocked. There's something going on with us as black people. And I think we always want to skip the gorilla in the room when it comes to us and what we do and how we react and what we accept. Growing up, you probably often heard from your parents, if you don't like what's going on in my house, then get your own fucking house. And a lot of times they would say it in those words. And from that, I learned you really ain't going to have no real say-so in somebody else's house. Malcolm once said, we have no right to complain about the treatment that the white man gives us if we're not willing to go out and do it for ourselves. If we're not willing to build our own houses, build our own foundation, because you can't have a house without the foundation. And we find ourselves being distracted and led to misdirections of actions when these occurrences constantly keep happening to us and have happened to us over the years. And I understand why people are out there in the street, because our generation didn't leave them nothing to build on. And the generation before us didn't really leave us nothing to build on. But you have to understand that that same generation, you could not, freely express yourself before I mean, you had the right to vote, but did you dare go vote? Did you take a chance on getting murdered, especially in the South, getting lynched because you wanted to express your rights? So I was born in 1965. Black people were just getting rights to vote and things like this. But now you got all these people and all these groups saying, I'm not going to vote. And it disturbs me only from the standpoint of, then what you going to do? Because politics is about people and resources. And the only things they address are the people that vote. So when you go run into a politician demanding stuff and they say, did you vote? And you say no, you're out of the conversation. When they look at the voting dynamics and they decide how to divide up the neighborhoods and how the resources are going to go, you didn't vote. So it doesn't make it, so you have no say. Then a lot of people will say, well, it didn't make a difference anyway. Look at this and look at this. Yeah, but if you got two legs to stand on and you got shot in one leg and now you're standing on one leg all the time and that leg is healing a little bit, do you not try to stand on it again? We can't be so militant and naive. Yeah, the system is screwed up. We know that. So what do we do with the big 300-pound gorilla in the room? We know the system is screwed up. Does that move us to unity? Or do we only unify when there's a tragedy, such as what happened to Breonna Taylor, Tamir Rice, Trayvon Martin? Is this the only time we can come together? And like I say, it's hey, protests and all that, do that, great. But what's the plan? Because the people you're protesting to out in the street, it doesn't change anything. If you're not going to the polls and selecting and getting these bad judges out, because government is local. You got to get to the local level of government before you get to the next level of government. So if you're sitting around complaining about stuff that's your closest government, your alderman, your mayor, your governor, these are the closest people to you. And if these are if we have aldermen and state reps, I was at a meeting with a state rep and they said we can't, and somebody was on the radio this morning on Mazer's show saying we can't get anything pushed because we don't have the numbers. So we had to team up with other people to try to get what we want. Yeah, that may be true, or you could just be an ass about it and refuse to vote on anything for anybody. Oh, well, that's not going to work because you're still not going to get nothing done. And then these people are just going to team up with these people to further put us down. And you know why they can do that? Because you don't vote. You don't believe in the community or anything, and you think things are going to change just because you set a few things on fire. When this election is over, you're going to see a whole different action taken toward people out in the street. And it's going to be aggressive, and it's going to be designed for one purpose, to shut you down. Now, during this pandemic time, this is a great time. What have we been doing as black people in this time to push the needle forward, to make demands? Because we already blew the sports thing, right? They shut down one game. Great. Know what I say the difference between us and white folks is? White folks ain't scared to shut it down completely to push their agenda. If they would have said, we're not playing at all, then you would have got more attention. You would have been actually wielding some type of power in your life. Just like the football, when Kaepernick was taking the knee and it became opening season. If all the black players would have just stopped, where everybody done worked hard and all this. Nobody said it's not going to be easy without everybody sacrificing. That's the problem with us. We got to unify, and then we got to be willing to shut stuff down, like in the Montgomery boycott. Nobody gets on the bus. Nobody buys from this place. Nobody does this. Nobody does this. Nobody does this. I haven't ate from Denny's and God knows when. Because, no, I'm not forgiving you for the way you were treating black patrons. You can't buy back my forgiveness. Dunkin' Donuts. I used to love the lemon filled donuts. Haven't had one in probably about 5 years now. Because I don't like the way you talk to me, the way you treat the black customers. A lot of these Arab stores and things that are in our neighborhoods, I don't support. I don't go in. Why should I give you money for you to behave the way you behave in our neighborhood? Wouldn't it be better if we just push everybody out? And it may sound unfair to people, but shit the hell. You don't realize what's going on in other neighborhoods? Well, your black butt is not going over in their neighborhoods and opening up nothing. They will boycott you, chase you out, and then act like they did something right. So what's the difference in us doing the same thing, behaving in the same manner? And don't try to throw God on top of this like, oh, well, that's not the godly thing to do. Tell them that's not the godly thing to do. Let's stop letting religion hold us back from building and creating something that's going to protect us. I ain't got no time for Salim's shop over here or Ekbar's store over here or so-and-so, because that only proliferates in our neighborhood. It doesn't happen in other neighborhoods. So why would I care? I don't care. I don't care who feels in a certain way about it. And I think if we don't want to wait 4 years to make a change for an alderman or something that's not doing what we need them to do, then that alderman needs to be protested to the extent of not being able to come to that office, and then the city hall needs to be protested on until a change is made. If you can impeach a president, then there should be something to get rid of people that are not on our side. We got to start holding those people that we put in office accountable so people can feel like my vote means something. I didn't vote for Lori Lightfoot, and I'm still pissed off at Willie Wilson because he got all the black votes, and then he pushed everybody over to Lori. He didn't push me over because I didn't vote for it. And then she slammed the door in his face. Now she pushes the LGBT and the white agenda, and we sitting around looking stupid again. We got to find some better tools to get ourselves together. Here's another problem I got, and it's really aggravating me more and more as we celebrate these American holidays like the 4th of July and President Day. Why are we celebrating slave-running presidents? The independence of America. What are we celebrating? That's no celebrating if you destroyed my life and now, oh, well, that was years ago, man. Get over it. We burnt down your house and did all this other stuff to you, but we cool now, right? No, we ain't cool until I get what I deserve. Well, if we work with these people, then we'll be able to push the agenda further, but we'll have to do something for them too. Do they do stuff for us when they join up with us? No, they don't. There's no alliance, no real alliance that says, we with y'all black men. Everybody's with us just for an agenda. I was watching something, they were talking about the women's rights movement and what happened with black women. The white women got exactly what they wanted. they got to get out the house and become part of corporate America and then become another oppressor over you. Black women got jobs, and that helped them to take care of the families. The black man didn't get anything. He just got another white person to further oppress them. And believe me, I've worked for plenty of white women, and the attitude has been something where, you know, I've been that Negro that would stand up to it and call it unfair, whether it was a white woman or a white man. I view them the same because they live in the same house. They have the same philosophies. They believe in the same Trumpism. Oh, did I say that out loud? The reason Trump won was not because of the black folks. Most of the black folks voted for Hillary, but there was a small percentage of blacks that voted for Donald Trump. There's a small percentage that hopes Donald Trump gets back in again. Let me tell you my problem with Donald Trump. It's not the problem that I'm trying to find a good way to say this. Morally, Donald Trump disturbs me. I don't know too much about Joe Biden. I know he's probably done some bullshit on the political scene just like all the rest of them. But I don't see the moral degradation like I see in Donald Trump. I know his daddy was a racist because he was at Ku Klux Klan members' meetings. I know they practice racist behavior because they got sued under the Fair Housing Act, discriminating against black people. I know he's an asshole when that black guy won on the show, and then he asked him something he would never ask a white contestant. Well, don't you think you want to share that? And that's how they talk to us. When you're in corporate America, there's no real win in corporate America for us as a whole. That is just a small image of America and how we are treated as a whole in America. How do you work for companies for years? White person comes in, within 2 years, they've risen to middle management or the top of the company. You've been there 8 years, 10 years, 12 years, and you haven't got a single promotion. But because you standing in a hole and you ain't got no place else to go, and that's basically the only reason we still in America. I say it all the time. If they paid reparations, and we're not talking about no little, you know, I've heard all different types of numbers. My number is $2 million per black person, and not all in your hand all at once. You got to have some type of plan to get your money, because we're not trying to let you have money to just turn around and give back to these people. Our plan says blacks don't pay for education in America. Why are we paying for education in America when you denied us 300 years? I don't care how other people feel about it. Oh, that's going to make it unfair. No, we didn't say you can stop going to school. You can go to school too. We just going to go for free. But, you know, they know how the game goes. A lot of the government loans, the student loans are backed by the government. And you'll be paying that student loan 20, 30, 40 years of your life after you get out of school. So why should we be burdened with an additional debt? Why should we not have home and mortgage forgiveness? Because half the time we're paying more money on our loans. We're the ones that where they like to blame it on bad loans given to black people that caused this whole market crash. But it's been shown that black people pay their bills on a more consistent basis than white folks. Yet we're still charged a higher interest. But what else you gonna do, nigga? You got to mess with us, right? I was looking at ADOS, Yvette Carnell, and Tone, and they're kind of pushing this ADOS, African Descendants of Slaves. I like a lot of the stuff they say. The battle is getting enough other people to buy into it too. Now, we talk about the Bernie Sanders campaign all the time. Let's get behind this dude. This guy is saying all the right thing, but this guy is saying, no, I don't believe in reparations for black people. That's the end of it for me. Anybody that says it, that's the end of the conversation for me. You're on the other list. We can't be running behind candidates and things that don't even have your best interest in heart. And I'm not saying Kamala Harris or Joe Biden has anything tangible that's going to help us. We got to realize nobody's coming to help us because we don't help ourselves. We don't have communities that are free and growing environments unless we move to another community. But now you see the trends that they're moving back into our community. Somebody made, I think it was a state rep or something, made the comment, oh, well, this is great. If they want to move to our neighborhoods and put up with some of the same stuff that we're dealing with, and then they can see it. No, brother, it don't work like that. Because when they move into the neighborhood, the police presence increases. The monetary things increase. Therefore, the neighborhood starts to change. And guess what else happens? You non-voting Negroes get replaced by voting young white people. And guess what happens then? The politicians run over and start kissing their ass. And they look at you and say, well, you've been in this neighborhood all this time. How come you never complained? Well, I didn't vote, so nobody wanted to talk to me. I didn't believe in my community. I thought it was cool for drug dealing and killing and stuff to go on the streets. And you know, I spend most of my time fighting cops. Fuck the police. Fuck the system. A lot of fuck. And I say it too. But I opened a store in the black community. I talked to the black youth. We got a training program. We're on 4 students now. So maybe we all can't grab a whole group of people all at once, but everybody's got a part to do. This is nation building and community building. Then we don't have to sit around and complain about what the white man is doing here and what the white man is doing here, what the white man is doing. You waste more money, not money, more time and energy talking about what the white man's doing and instead of time of what we doing. Okay, let's do a Million Man March and everybody puts $1 up in this booth. And instead of $1 million, you come up with $200,000. Now, who made the money? When you count the hotels, the bus lines, and everything that took you to get to where you were going, and that number comes out to $8 million spent on people traveling. That was $8 million. We could have traveled somewhere together and put $8 million somewhere. We love Dr. King, and his mission was to show America itself. And then he realized, just like Baldwin said once, you dealing with moral monsters. That means they can do whatever they want to you and then say, praise the Lord, I'm a Christian, look at what I've done, we make donations to the needy, we do this, we do this, we do this. And then we have good old blacks that hang out with these whites. And I've hung out with them, but my agenda's always been the same because you can't be my friend if I can't be black. That's my motto. And I tell them, I'm going to say some fucked up shit, or it's going to sound fucked up to you. But regardless, it's going to be what's real in my thing. Like I say in my poem, our reality is not our reality. This is a construct of what we've been given to live under in America. And all the groups look at us and shame it. Even if they don't say it out loud, they say it. I've talked to enough foreigners that look at us with shame and disdain and just say, shit, we gonna show y'all how to do this. But they still connected to their heritage, to their countries, their continents. They're still connected. We're not connected. So they look at you and say, nigga, we as a people are together. We don't allow no nigga shops in our neighborhoods. We don't allow this. We don't allow this. We don't allow this. That's called a separated community. They're separated by their own will and communion. That the only thing goes on in their neighborhood is because they allow it to. If they say no dispensary shops or anything else, that's what happens. Chinatown throughout America, those are separated communities. Black people, where you live? You live in a segregated community. Because of your poverty and your inability to change your situation, you're in a forced community where everything is forced upon you. Outside business interests, political interests, whatever. We'll come into your neighborhood, we'll take $50 million, and we'll build us a nice upgrade to Navy Pier. Then we'll act like, oh, how did that happen? Then we'll take another $800 million and send it up to the Brickyard Lincoln Brickyards. Oh, we're going to have all these great venues and everything. Give them $8 million to fight over. Yeah, all the blacks in the city get to fight over that $8 million. But the $800 million we took, the TIF money, that is supposed to be for blighting areas, how much difference could we make with $800 million spread it out through our community? But instead, it's going to be spread in one little community to generate money, tax money and things for the city. Do we care about the taxes when we ain't got jobs half the time? When we don't have opportunities, when our neighborhoods are the way they are, $800 million could have went a long way. But wait, niggas, we got the Obama Library coming. I know you want to be at the Obama Library. No, you want to sit down and look at the pictures of the president and the first lady. It's going to make you feel good up in here. Ain't going to change the situation, but you going to feel real good up in there, boy. You going to get to say, I saw the first black president. I shook his hand, talked to him. And your situation still ain't going to change. So I don't sit around flying American flags. Had a judge come in my shop. Well, I call him judge because he's an ex-judge, white guy. And we were talking about the flags. I was daring him to say something about why there's not an American flag there. But they don't have to, because he knows, and they all know, why we don't honor that flag. Well, there's some of us, fought in the war and going to do some flags, and I love America, and then they turn right around and tell you a story, I hate this fucking country. And secretly, most of us do. We're not allowed to say it on our jobs or anything like that. I would make my point. Flag Day come around, I snatch a flag off, just leave a spear on my desk. 4th of July celebrations, no, I'm not going to none of that shit. For what? We too busy celebrating our oppressors. And that's why they think it's cool, it's okay. I mean, niggas dancing, they celebrating. It's got to be cool. Stop fucking singing and dancing for these people. If we're going to entertain them, let's entertain on our behalf. We've missed the opportunities to shut down leagues, shut down TV commercials, all that's tied into the sports would have been shut down. And then they would have had to come with some real change, not let us tell you what you can put on your jersey. That's still your master telling you what to do. I guarantee that if you shut it down altogether, they wouldn't be mentioning none of that. They'd be like, okay, what you need? Okay, that's cool with us. That's cool. But we never had the balls to really jump out there in the street and do what we got to do. And that's the problem. That's the gorilla in the room. We don't do what we have to do. So a lot of shit that happens, unfortunately, falls at our feet. All those murders in our neighborhood, a lot of times fall at our feet. The failure of the family structure, the redesign of the family structure that puts women in the front of the family. I'm not dogging women. I'm just saying, here's the game and the way it's played. We manipulate you, put you in the forward because we rather deal with you, sister, than to ever deal with your nigga husband. And the only time we're going to deal with him if he's had a mother that has trained him in the ways to honor my white system. And the way that we do it, as long as you're not trying to get above me, nigga, use my nigga. This is the whole psychology. This game they play with us is just a psychological game to see how much you gonna take. When you gonna stand up? I'm not gonna let you stand up, nigga. It's 44 million black people in America. I'm finna explain the whole army base that all these Negroes believe exists here. 44 million black people in America. You can immediately cut that in half and say half these people love the way America operates. Great, beautiful. Takes you down to 22 million. You can cut that in half again because most of those are kids under the age of 17. They ain't got no money or nothing else. So now you're down to 11 million. Cut that in half again, or more than half, cut it to a third, because now you just got a whole bunch of hardworking people that ain't got time for war and all this other shit. They got bills to pay. They trying to send their kids to school. They trying to live a better life. So now you're down to about 2 million. Most of them people not really equipped to fight. So it takes us down to about 1 million soldiers. It's 364 million people in America. About 180 million of those are white folks. The rest is others, and then there's us. And you got 1 million people screaming throughout this nation, 1 million black people, and believing that these people that are marching alongside you, these white people, are really there for you. No, it's just time to be a part of it now. I can say now, I was out there with my brothers and sisters. I mean, I was protesting for you, right? I really gave a fuck if you got rights or anything. And our kids, they believe this. And a lot of us believe that. And I personally don't believe it. Hey, if it's true, then fight all the way. I'm not putting that much into you, because just like, Malcolm would say, we can't have no black and white unity till we get some black unity. And when you see everybody on TV, that's what you're seeing. All these white folks and other folks, some people are the antagonists of the situation, less and less of us. But after this election, and we got that 1 million people still standing in the street, don't think a Trump win doesn't mean we gonna shut this shit down, because that's exactly what it means. Because his moral compass is way off, and he's been saying it time and time again, I'm just waiting on the word, and we will come in and shut it down. Think he's bullshitting. They will shut you down from burning up shit and everything else. They will roll tanks through your communities. They will lock you up on trumped up charges, and your broke ass will be sitting in jail with people trying to figure out a way to get you out. Well, what else we gonna do? we're going to come together and we're going to be black people. And we're going to take our money and our resources and we're going to put it together and we're going to build what we can build until we get the rest of the money. We got politicians. And we'll change the world economically from our own standpoint. If we got to work with these people, then work with these people, get your money, bring it over here. People that are in our community that we don't want in our community, you got to go. Sorry. Go back to your community. Don't follow the blueprint of come to America, open a store in the black neighborhood, take out all the money out the black neighborhood, put nothing back in. Because that's the blueprint. When's the last time you went over to Little Italy and saw a black store? Or Chinatown and saw a black store? No, they don't exist? Why not? Because they're not going to let you do it. So the same principle. We don't want to hear all this kumbaya. There's no kumbaya until we get what we want. That's the call, and we've failed to pass this message down to our children. And the only reason they're out there in the street, as I said, because we haven't built a structure that protects them from the same stuff that we were unprotected from. Because the people before us didn't really build that structure, and they didn't build it because the people before them didn't build the structure. And those attempts to build these structures always seem to fall because of the government that waged war against black people. Didn't wage war against anybody else. Wage war against black people. And you'll have a few people saying, oh, well, you know, they kind of kicked our ass as Chinese back in so-and-so. And that was maybe almost a decade. Maybe we fucked with these people for almost a decade. But we got centuries worth of scars. In my line in the poem, it says, our truth hidden behind stripes and bars. Land of the free, land not ours. I wrote that poem over 20-something years ago. Over 20-something years ago. And then you can go back and listen to Baldwin's speeches and Medgar Evers and all these other people saying the same thing that we're saying now, they were saying then. So how do you measure change? Do you measure it with a ruler? Or do you measure it with what's actually happening? You keep doing the same things, you're always going to get the same results. So if people want to go out there and burn down and all this, knock yourself out. I want to know what we're going to do. Well, first of all, you're going to be in jail for a while because ain't nobody getting you out because people are struggling. But we understand. We understand that you feel real confident that your outrage is going to change something. And people, maybe we all should read the 48 Rules of Power, and we get out of our emotions and realize, how do these people stay on top? I quote Mr. Phillips all the time, 1983. He says, Mr. Robinson, why would this nation help us in any way to be even equal with them? That's not how the game goes. The game says, I'm on top. I do whatever it takes to stay on top and to keep you down. Now, if you don't like that, then y'all need to get the fuck out of our house and build your own house. And at the beginning of every show, that's what it says. Build your own house. Love, peace, soul. We out of here.
Step out of the car.
No, you don't have the right.
Step out of the car.
You do not have the right to do that.
I do have the right. Now step out or I will remove
I
you.
refuse to talk to you other than to identify myself.
Step
Now if your woman ain't no revolutionary, she'll persuade you to be a fucking slave. yourself a bitch. Think about the time that you invested in him. If he's wearing them skinny jeans, you a lesbian. For every 100 black women who ain't locked up, it's only 83 black men remain. Take away 1.5 million black men who might have benefited their women and their children. You don't know a war when it's waged against you, when it makes you drive your baby mama to the clinic just to kill your own. Ain't no legacy to leave behind, cause ain't nobody sitting on your throne. You motherfuckers are asleep in a war zone, living a nightmare, dying in your own home. If you don't stop, you gon' lose what you got left. I'd rather die trying to fight for my last breath. Freedom or death, you asleep in a war zone, living a nightmare, dying in your own home. If you don't fight, you gon' lose what you got left. I'd rather die trying to fight for my last breath. Freedom or death, nigga. Sandra Bland was a rider. She wouldn't have committed suicide, and you a motherfucking liar. It would not be wise to stop when you hear sirens and you see the police behind you, but you don't wanna die. They gon' shoot you if you run. They gon' say that you was going for the police gun. That's why they shot you like 120 times, but you was still coming, so they put another bullet in your lung. Them devils got you praying while they murder, because they know you on that bullshit. They steady with them bull clips and body armor. They kill your women in the street, cause they figure you too weak to do anything about it. You some shit, getting fucked in your sleep. They poison you every time you brush your teeth. You don't care, you behave like a slave. A bitch from the cradle to the grave, on your knees with your hands out, begging cause you won't. You motherfuckers are asleep in a war zone, living a nightmare, dying in your own home. If you don't stop, you gon' lose what you got left. I'd rather die trying to fight for my last breath. Freedom or death, you asleep in a war zone, living a nightmare, dying in your own home. If you don't fight, you gon' lose what you got left. I'd rather die trying to fight for my last breath. Freedom or death, nigga. Freedom or death, nigga. Fuck that. Freedom or death, nigga.
If you just listen,
Freedom or death, nigga. Freedom or death, nigga. Freedom or death, nigga.
you were getting a warning. Until now, you're going to jail.
I'm getting it for what?